Hi, hello, how are you? And welcome back to a speed build. This is a special speed build and hopefully the first of many special speed builds. This is a build that was requested to me by a subscriber named Ebony. Ebony sent me an email and asked if I did build requests, and I've never done one before, but I was 100% down. And Ebony asked me if I could build a house on the 64 by 64 lot in Brindleton Bay, a farmhouse or craftsman style outside. And then they sent me a listing for a blueprint for a house with inspiration for the inside. And oh my gosh, thank you so much, Ebony, for requesting this, because it gave me this whole idea for this series, which I haven't introduced yet. So let me talk about that really fast. So the series is You Ask, I Build, YAIB. And so basically, you guys can send me requests for builds through my email if you want to send a lot of stuff like links and pictures and all that good stuff. Or you can tweet me, you can DM me, you can comment on an Instagram post, you can comment on this video, whichever you want, whatever's good for you. If you're looking for my email, it is in my contact information on my YouTube channel. It is in the description of every single video. It's just probablysimming@gmail.com. But yeah, I'm excited to build more things for you guys. But let's talk about Ebony's build. So from what I gather, Ebony has a large family in The Sims that she wanted a house for, and she said she's not much of a builder, which no big deal. Ebony, lots of people aren't. I didn't used to be. It takes a lot of practice, I think. And the pictures she sent me were very modern. And then she said she wanted a craftsman or a farmhouse style exterior. Hindsight should have probably gone the craftsman route since Seasons just came out and it's a lot of craftsman style stuff. However, I decided I'm going to do a farmhouse exterior because I've never done one before. And oh, this build went through a very long, awkward teenage phase, like very long. Or maybe it's not even that bad. Like, I don't know how you guys feel watching it, but I felt like it did not look good for a very long time. And at least until I had the roof settled, I didn't start to feel good about this house. And now I do really like the exterior of this house. I know I'm a little bit ahead of myself, but the exterior I'm a big fan of. The interior I'm not sure of. Um, I don't know. I think it was the conflict between the idea of like a farmhouse, and like, you think farmhouse, you think very rustic, very I don't know, like homey. And that was kind of the mindset I had when I started building the outside. And then when I got into the inside, I had to keep reminding myself this is a much more modern build. This is like, I don't know, it took a oh my gosh. And also, I don't usually do very big builds, and this was a big build and a house. So it has all these bedrooms, and bedrooms to me are very personal. I had the worst time furnishing this house just because I was having such a hard time getting inspired. And you'll actually recognize a couple of the bedrooms in this house are room builds that I've done before. But we'll get to that in a minute. I really do like the floor plan of this house, though. It took quite a lot of tweaking for me to get it to where I wanted it. I do end up, as I go, take out, I think, one bedroom, because it did have 8 bedrooms. I think it has 7 now, but I ended up taking one out on the second floor. But the space is still there. So if you want to add another bedroom to this house, boom, there's space for it. But I don't build large houses, and so furnishing a large house, I just couldn't even begin to think. I've never lived in a large house. I don't know how that works. So yeah, I was trying really hard to make this a large house without it feeling empty, because Ebony, I'm sure her Sims are I don't know, they have their own personalities and stuff. She has Sims that, I don't know, she knows how her Sims interact. And so the bedrooms I have provided her with could make 0 sense for the family that's going to be living in this house. But I didn't really want it to look like if you've ever looked on realty websites or if you've ever actually bought a house or you've looked at houses to move into one, when they stage it and they put all the furniture in there so it looks quote unquote lived in, but it's just like it looks like you're walking into a furniture store because all the furniture is brand new. No one's ever sat there. There's not a speck of dust anywhere, you know? I didn't want it to look like that. I wanted it to be more of a home that looked lived in that could be tweaked and edited if it needed to be. So that's what I went for. When the bedrooms are completely furnished, there's a nursery, a kids' room, a more masculine kids' room, but whatever. A two rooms that could be either teen or young adult rooms, one very definite teen girl, like punk rock room, and then a master bedroom, which I'm really proud of. And there's a room on the second floor that is actually it's the traveler's bedroom that I made a long time ago, and I forgot how much I love that room. And I was working on this build, and a friend of mine was over, a friend who you might know, New Game Minus, and I was like, who, if you owned a big house and you had a large family, who would you trust to stay on the second floor if your master bedroom's on the first floor? And he said, the bum uncle. And I said, okay, the bum uncle then. And I put the traveler's room up there for our quote unquote bum uncle. Not, and I imagined him being a bum uncle as in more he's never around because he's traveling a lot, not in as in he's like a messy guy or like he's just never there. So it's like, whereas I can't even think of a name. But where's Uncle John? Nobody knows. He's traveling the world, but his bedroom's up there. So I know that makes zero sense, but blame New Game Minus for the traveler's bedroom, I suppose. Another thing that, see, I don't want to be like, look at this build, it's amazing, I built it for Ebony and Ebony's gonna love it, because I don't know. I hope Ebony loves it. I think at the very least, Ebony, if you're watching, that the floor plan is what you asked for. It definitely can accommodate a big family. I did the open ceilings you wanted with the overlooking balconies on the second floor. There are wraparound porches, which I know you said you liked. Actually, this house has 3 porches. There's a porch off the master bedroom, there's a porch off the kitchen, which is like a big back deck, and then there's a wraparound porch on the front of the house. But I do think what I want to do in the future with this series is you guys ask me to build things, and then it's kind of like a challenge because it's not my idea. It's your idea or inspiration you're providing, and I have to take it and make it something cool. So I am going to critique myself in these videos, and I do kind of critique myself in my other build videos, but I want this to be a little bit different because this, I think, having you guys pick things will definitely take me out of my comfort zone. Like I said, I've never built a farmhouse before, and while I was building it, I was having a really hard time with kind of the boxy shape of a farmhouse because, when you start building in The Sims, that's what you build are just boxes, rooms stacked on top of each other, and they look terrible. And then when you learn to build, you learn how to do more dynamic shapes and stuff to keep the outsides interesting. And so farmhouses are very boxy, square houses. And so I was really trying to make it look dynamic on the outside. And I think I accomplished that. And combining modern with a rustic style like a farmhouse, that was a challenge too. So I did like the challenge. So if you guys plan on sending me these, like, don't be afraid to challenge me. That's what I want. But anyway, the kitchen, I did not clutter the kitchen is my problem with the kitchen. I like the style of the kitchen. I had a decent idea in mind, and then I couldn't find the personality of the kitchen in my brain, and so I just didn't clutter it. So it's just an empty kitchen, which kind of bothers me, and I might go back and clutter the kitchen and upload a second version of this house with more clutter and probably more plants. The modern aspect of this house and specific, like a lot of the inspiration photos that Ebony sent me, there weren't a lot of plants in there. And so I was like, in my mind, I was like, you can't overplant, you can't overplant, you can't overplant, because I do use a lot of plants in all my builds. And the only room here that has a lot of plants is the planted perfection bedroom, which is one of my other previous room builds that I put in this house to fill in one of the room spaces. So I would probably put more plants in here. There are a couple bedrooms in here that I just made that I do really like. This nursery, I'm a pretty big fan of. I do wish I had put more wall decorations up, but I don't know. Like, I don't build a lot of toddler rooms, kids rooms, or baby rooms, and so it doesn't come to mind. So I feel like I could work out probably some more wall decorations. But otherwise, I really do like that nursery. I really like the kids' bedroom that is across the hallway from the nursery. That room I like a lot. And I do like a lot of the bedrooms downstairs and upstairs, the teen bedroom. It's that bedroom. Oh my goodness. It's so cool. I imagine this girl lives there. She's very punk rock, but also really girly. And so she's on the second floor, not because she doesn't need supervision, but because her electric guitar, and I did mean to put Grimm's guitar in there and I forgot. Um, she's just always playing electric guitar and they get so tired of the noise because she's okay, but she's just learning. So she's not that great. And so they put her up there so she can practice her electric guitar because who's she going to bother? The bum uncle? No, he's traveling the world. So there's that. And I think that room came out really, really cool. That's a room I'll probably take out of this build and save for later use somewhere because I can't just I might not play in this build ever. I can't think of a family that would live in a farmhouse type build like this, but a lot of these rooms definitely would like to use. You'll also notice I struggled with the Sims 3 camera. I kept turning it on to rotate rugs because I like to slightly rotate a rug now and then, and I forget it was on, and then I just get caught up in it. I don't know what it is. I can't figure out the Sims 3 camera controls for the life of me. I know that's horrible. Everyone uses them, and I'm just sitting here like I don't know what to do. But yeah. What else was I gonna say? Oh, the dining room I also did not clutter, and there's a reason I did not clutter the dining room, and that is because there's a breakfast area in the kitchen that seats 6, and Ebony said there was a big family that was going to live in this house, and so the breakfast area is 6, the dining area has to be 8. It just has to be. And even then, I wasn't sure if that's big enough. And so I didn't put a ton into the dining room because I feel like that area will be edited to maybe accommodate more Sims. I know you can only have 8 Sims in a household. So 8 dining chairs should be big enough. But I don't know how long Ebony's been playing with this save. This family could have generations going on. There could be people being invited over all the time. Maybe at some point this Sim family will have 12 people over for dinner and they need seating for it. I don't know. So the dining room is just a dining room. It's also a formal dining room, so it's not somewhere you hang out a lot. So it didn't need a lot of clutter. Again, would have liked more plants. I do really like how the master bedroom turned out because, oh my gosh, I think it's so luxurious looking, super modern, but cozy. And that's something I struggle with I need to work on with modern builds is that I don't need them to look cold. Sometimes you build a modern thing and then it looks really sparse, it looks really cold, and it's very monochromatic. And I don't think it has to be that way. I've seen in real life been to places that were modern, but they weren't cold, they weren't sparse, they weren't monochromatic. And so that's something I want to work on. And I think I kind of accomplished that with that master bedroom. And yeah, I feel like the bedrooms were definitely the strong suit in this. And I also really like the extra living area that I added on the first floor with the piano and the fish tank coffee table. I really like that. I'm glad I finally I got to use some of my first pet stuff in here, and I haven't used a ton of it except for when I built a pet store. So I got to use the end table and the fish tank table, and I thought about putting a hamster or something in the kids room, but I don't know if I don't know what packs Ebony has. They didn't include that in the email. And so I used everything, but I didn't want to make space for a hamster and then there be no hamster because then there'd be a big space open in the room, if that makes sense. But overall, landscaping, I also had to really restrain myself because every time, I looked up a bunch of pictures of farmhouses to get inspiration and kind of figure out how it worked, because one of the things Ebony specifically requested was that please could I do the landscaping, and you know me, I love me some landscaping, so your girl was on with the landscaping. And so I was looking up how farmhouses are typically landscaped, and it seemed like it's a lot of open yard space, and I was like, oh no, I want to put plants everywhere. Why is there so much open yard? And so, but I did get to use an oak tree because there's so much open yard, which I don't get to use very often because I feel like they take up a lot. But So it's a lot of bushes and flowers right around the house, and then a couple trees here and there, which I do like. I do like having all the empty yard space, because if you have a lot of Sims, then you're going to need space to do things like, I don't know, maybe eventually one of your Sims will want to do the weather, and then like you need space for that. And there's plenty of space for gardening. I did not put a garden into this house, but I left space for it. I just felt like it would be like too obvious to throw in a huge gardening area behind a farmhouse when, if it's modern on the inside, I don't imagine they're living the farm life, you know? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe these Sims are all have the green thumb trait, level 10 gardeners, best friends with the bees, all that good stuff. I don't know. Maybe they live on dragon fruit. Could be. But I just didn't feel like I needed to put a garden in here, especially since that's something really easy to put in. But anyway, I'm going to let you go because the screenshots should be about to roll through. Let me know what you think, how I did, especially Ebony. Ebony, let me know how I did. This build is, of course, on the gallery. And don't forget to send me inspiration or requests for the next You Ask I Build. I'm not putting this series on a specific schedule, but I would like to do one every other week or so. So make sure you send me some. Again, remember, you can send them to my email. If you want to send a lot of information about what you're looking for in a build, email's probably the best bet, because you could write your whole story. You could tell me, if you, like I said, Ebony didn't give me specific information about the Sims that would be living here, but if you want a specific interior other than a style, Ebony told me they want modern style, and so I did a modern style as best I could, except a lot of the bedrooms probably aren't super modern, but I don't know. You can have a modern house and then some other personality in the bedrooms. I don't know. But if you want to request a build and you're like, I want this build to look like this, like I want them to live in a treehouse surrounded by Sixum plants, and the Sims that live there are an alien hybrid girl, a dog with one eye, and a single mother and her twin, and this is what they're into, and you want me to do specific bedrooms from that's like the most random family I could have come up with for an example, but my bad. Then let me know, and I will do my best to do what you want, because that's what I want this series to be. It's You Ask, I Build. You ask me what you want done. Tell me what you want done. But anyway, I'm rambling now, so I'm gonna let you go. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to know what you think, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!